the version you have downloaded is the version you have downloaded is SOAP UI. There are two versions. One is SOAP UI and one is SOAP UI Pro. Okay.
Right.
Pro is kind of a professional version which got more features. For that you need a license. Okay.
Okay.
And of course I have a crack for it. Anyways, you're not in US to buy license for everything, so you can crack it. Okay. So well, this is how it looks like. And basically, this tool is used to test the web services. Okay. You know what is a web service, right?
Yeah, partially I know it.
Okay. So you are purely from testing background, is it?
Right.
Or do you have any programming? Any programming?
Not in programming perspective. I'm completely in the functional side, like the SME stuff, like the most of the business analyst stuff.
Okay, business analyst stuff. Okay, good. Basically, a web service, I can say it's kind of a program, to give it in a simple way, which is used to interact with the multiple applications, an application to application, they can easily understand each other. What web service does is, let's say I have a mobile device with me, okay, and I would like to display a weather information on the mobile device. Okay, so on mobile you have iPhones, you have Android, and different kinds of runs on different kinds of operating systems, right? iPhone runs on what is that? What do you call?
iOS.
Apple iOS.
Yeah.
And all the other smartphones runs on Android, KitKat, or whatever versions, right? And let's say I have a desktop also like this. So I would like to develop an application so that all these devices can get the information and display on their screens. But they are running on different technologies, different operating systems. So how can I pass? Let's see if I develop an application. Let's say my website gives a weather information. Okay? And how those guys are going to use that information. Okay? And my application is developed on Java or .NET or SAP, I don't know. Okay? But how they are going to interact with my application and get the data out of it. Okay?
Right.
So these are the questions. So now what I do here is I create a web service. Okay, this web service is a kind of a, I don't call it as a program or application or whatever it is. It's a service. Okay, and this one is used to exchange the information in the form of XML. Okay.
Right. Right.
So in XML, we'll exchange the data as an XML file. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, and this is the data format which any programming language can understand. Okay, be it Java, be it .NET, be it anything, any programming language in the world can understand XML file. So this web services basically produce XML files. Okay, and now on the other hand side, let's the consumers. I'm the producer. I produce a web service. This web service output contains the data what they want, get the weather information. Okay, I send the weather information in the form of an XML file. And the other side, this iOS developers, they develop a native application, apps, right? We call them as apps, and they call the web service. They get the data in XML, and they write their own program to display it nicely on their screen. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Similarly, so means it depends on what the target application is. So now, let me take a look at this. Google.com. And I'm saying temperature in, let's say, Dubai. Okay. The moment I type it, so now you can see a very nice thing on the screen, right? With nice charts and everything. Okay. Let's say you want to display the information like this, and where these guys are getting information, this weather information is not available with Google. Okay, they are getting it from somewhere, right? So now I would like to show the same thing on a mobile device. Okay, then it's not possible, right? Because this is HTML. On my mobile device, I need to develop an application. You know, hello, hello, hello. On a Google website, and
Okay.
this information they are actually fetching it from some website here. Okay,
Yeah.
weather.com, whatever it is. And these guys are giving information to them, and they are showing it very nicely. But I would like to show in a different way on my mobile device. Okay, so and we need to check with this website whether they give us a web service, because now this information is coming here. But how can I get this information and show nicely in my application on my mobile device? It's not possible, right? So now I need to check whether these guys produce any kind of XML, whatever it is, or a web service. They produce any web service, then I should use it. So now for this, what I do is there are some free websites, okay, which gives this information. So this website I'm not sure. Okay, so now let's go to Google again and ask for a web service. Okay, weather web service. Okay, so this is a website which I typically use for my students. So this is a website which gives us the weather information, and they give a web service. Okay.
Okay.
So now I'm going to choose one of these operations, get city weather by zip code. And can you tell me your zip code?
36081.
Sorry?
36081.
36081. Okay. Invoking it. So now this is giving me an XML file, right? As I said, web services produce XML, and this is giving, so city found, Alba, state is AL, Troy, sunny, 89 degrees, right?
Right.
So this is the information that this web service is giving me back, and it is because it's an XML file. Of course, any programming language can process this XML and display in whatever manner they want. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So now, how can I test this web service? Okay? Now, in my SOAP UI, I would like to call this web service and see the results. And the testing, you know, right? The testing is basically we give inputs and we expect some output. Okay? If the program is not giving the expected output, means there is a problem. That is the major, essence of testing. Okay?
Yeah.
The program has to give you expected results, otherwise it's wrong for you. Well, so now I go here. So now how can I get this web service address? First thing is I need to get the web service address. Okay. And now I go back, and this is the location. Okay. So this one is called WSDL. WSDL in the web service language, WSDL, we call it as WSDL. In a short way, we call it WSDL, or some people say WSDL. It's a huge name, WSDL. So instead of saying that, we can say WSDL. So WSDL stands for Web Service Description Language. Okay, and this is for the programmers, not for the testers. Okay, so of course this is not for even the programmers or testers. This is for the machine to understand. Okay, and this WSDL file actually talks about the web service and the operations it provides, and so that you can understand what it is doing. So now, if you want to know what are the operations it is supporting, now we have to go all the way down. This is some information which is technical information for a web service, but of course this is only for the machines, not for us, not for humans. But I will just show you, because I'm a from Java guy. Okay, so I know what it does. Okay, so this web service is offering me 3 operations. Okay, the first operation is get weather information, get city forecast by zip, get city weather by zip. This is the operation that we executed a few minutes back, right? So each operation is a task. So if I go back here, so now these are all 3 operations it is supporting, and the address Okay, the web service address is here. Where is that? Okay, this is the address of the web service. So this is http wsfcdyn.com. So this is the web service address that you have to call. Okay,
Okay.
this
Okay.
is available on their website. So this is a technical information, not for us, but I'm just showing you how it looks like. Now,
Right.
if I step back here, and are these the operations available there?
Yes. I
Just
mean
now,
the three. Yes. The
three
task.
operations. That is the one. Those are all the operations that we have seen in the XML file, in the
Right.
WSDL file. Okay. Now, for a tester, what you are supposed to do? Okay. The first thing you should ask the developer is about the WSDL file. Okay. You need the WSDL file to
Okay.
start creating your test project. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is what the developers will give to you. You should ask the developers that please give me the WSDL file location. Okay. You can
Okay.
save this file. You can right click. You can save this file as on the desktop as a WSDL file, or you can directly call this URL.
Okay.
So I take this
So
URL.
basically, it's an URL. That's it, right? The
It's an
WSWPA.
URL, or it can be a file also. Okay, because this URL is available when my web service is published. Okay, means
Okay.
my web service is running, but sometimes the testers also will start writing their test cases, test scripts along with the developers, right?
Right.
What I do, initially I will develop a skeleton, I will give it to you, you can work on it. By the time I finish my implementation, right, by the time you also will be ready with your test cases.
Right. Right.
So these days client won't wait for you, to finish your
Right.
development, don't do that.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
typically I look at it, they can give you a development URL, okay,
Right.
development machine URL. So you can take this URL and go here, and the first thing is you should go and create a project, file, new SOAP project. Now the web services, there are two kinds of web services. One is SOAP based, one is REST services. We will talk about REST services later. So whatever we have seen right now is a SOAP based web service. It's a protocol. Okay, it's a protocol they use, and SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. And now here you can see here it is asking for the WSDL file, right? Initial WSDL file. So you can browse it from your desktop once you save it. Otherwise, you can directly call from the URL if it is available there. Okay, it is available.
Okay.
So I'm going to say whether project. My thing is ready. So now click. Okay. So now what it will do is it will call the URL. It will process that WSDL file, and it will try to find out all the operations. Now you can see here. Sorry.
Right.
Now it has created a project, and it is automatically picked up the available operations in that WSDL file. Once you have the operations with you.
Yeah, the operations in the sense the task, right?
Yes, a task.
Okay. Okay.
Operation. Sometimes we call them as a method. Okay.
Okay.
An operation is a set of tasks. It can inside it. You really don't know what you have inside it, but at the end of the day, it is giving me an output.
The result. Yep.
For my zip code, it is giving me the information. So now this is the request it creates for us. So means for a web service, you should send a request, and it will give you a response back. Okay. Now because this is SOAP based web service, we have to send a request in a format which it expects. Okay. Now you can see here there are different things. So I'm interested here. And now, as I said, this is a SOAP based web service. We should send a SOAP request. Okay.
Right.
So it's a protocol. It's a protocol that we have to follow. So now a protocol means a standard, that let's say you want to have you filed any income tax returns in India before? Where are you from? Hello? hello, send something, okay. So now this is the format that we are going to use. So now I need to pass the zip code. So what is the zip code?
481.
36481. 081. Well, so now my request is ready. My XML request is ready. So I'm going to trigger it. The moment I do it, so I'm going to get a response back from the web service. Okay.
Okay.
And this is the SOAP UI Pro, so it shows very nicely like this. Okay.
Okay.
And you can see the XML. This is the output it is giving us. Okay, this one is the forecast actually. I have used a different request. This is a forecast. So let me use the get weather city by zip. Done. Good. Okay. So this is the output it is giving. So state is Alabama, Troy, weather ID and all these things. So here I am showing it in a nice table. This tool is showing it a nice table which you can see easily. Okay. And with nice text on the left hand side and the data on the right hand side. So means actually what it is doing, it is actually processing this XML file. This is the response I'm getting from the web service, right? And this is what we have seen on their website. And it is processing the XML file and it is showing nicely like this. Okay. Similarly, if you develop a native application on iOS or Android, you can show it even better with nice images based on that. They can do it later, but that's not our job. So our thing is to make sure that this web service is working properly or not. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So in this case, this output is dynamic, right? The response is dynamic. The weather information can change every day, every minute, every hour, right? The temperature may change. So typically this won't qualify for testing. If you want to test for a particular value, right? I'm expecting if I pass 1 plus 1, I should get a 2 back, right? But that is standard, but it won't change. That you can test it. But in this case, how can you test it? Right? Because the response is keeping on changing. Okay.
Right.
So now we should identify what to test. That's the important thing, right? So what to test. So in this case, in this example, you can just check whether the city that you are getting is correct or not. Okay. City won't change, right? City is constant. Right. So the first thing you should do is you should at least get the city. If you pass 36081, should get state as AL and city as Troy. Now here we call them as assertions. Okay. So here what I can do is I can right click on this. Where is it? Okay. I can right click on this and okay, before that I need to write a test case. Okay. So this is working. So what I have to do is I need to write a test case for this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click here. I'm going to add a test case. Okay. Test suite you can do it later. So test suite contains multiple test cases. I'm writing a test case now. Yes, it generates everything for you. And now it writes a test suite. So it is doing something. Well, now this is called a test suite, and where you can run your test cases. So now this is the test case. And this is the request. So I'm going to pass 36021. So I'm going to get the output, and I'm going to add an assertion to check whether the city is Troy or not. So I'm going to add an assertion for content, and I'm going to say this one should be Troy. I'm saving this. Okay. Now when I run this again, okay, so it is giving in green color, right? Means the session is valid. So let me open up this. So match found, city valid. Okay, so it says it is valid. Let's say for testing purpose I changed this one to Troy 1. Of course I cannot change the web service, but to test whether it is working properly or not, I just change Troy 1, save it. Now When you run this web service, of course, automatically showing it. Now you can see here,
Okay.
showing a red color means your test case failed.
Right.
Okay. So what it is saying that expecting try 1, but actual was try.
Right.
Means your expected result is try 1, but the web service is giving try. Means it's failed. Right?
Right. Right.
So this is how you can do a basic test. There are a lot of things in it, but
Okay. Yeah.
as a basic, you can do this kind of testing. So
Okay.
this is how you can use this tool to test your services, and you can add n number of test cases based on your requirements. So in the test suite, you can add multiple test cases, and when you run the test suite like this, okay, this is a test suite and it got only one test case. Now I'm running this, so it will run all the test cases and it will execute testing. So now we just show you one big one. So where is it? Okay, you can see here. So this project got 3 test cases. Okay, my
Right.
test suite got 3 test cases. Oh, do you have any big one? I must be having big one. Okay, so this one got 6 test cases. Let me run this test suite. Okay, this is for different web service. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to run this. So it is running. Let us wait. It is actually calling a web service on the internet. Okay, I put a delay for a second, so you can do all these things. The web service can wait for something. I don't know how many I have. This is reading from data from Excel sheet. Okay. Oh, it is waiting for 5 seconds. Okay, anyways, it is done. You see here, now, out of my 6 test cases, so 3 failed. Okay?
Right.
So now at the end of the day, my test suite failed. So you can report to your developers that boss, something failed. And if you want to see what failed, you can just click on that. And you can see somewhere here what is the problem, and you can see all the test logs, test coverage, and match found. So what it is saying, expecting is 63.094, but actual was 62.37, of course, because it is dynamic, right?
Maybe.
On the
Right.
day when we were testing, it is 63. But as I said, these dynamic things we don't test actually, but for testing purpose we created those test cases. But
Right.
at the end of the day, this is how you can use your SOAP UI for testing.
Okay. Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So that's it. That's all about SOAP UI. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And how we write test suites, how we write all these test steps. These are all called test steps, data source, data sync, whatever it is, all these things. But you can learn as part of our trainings.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, since I am new to this one, so how long will it take for me to, to get hands-on on this, like approximate time frame? Because I'm looking to change here, so.
Okay, so hands-on means, see, this is a bit easy to learn, okay? It's not programming language, okay, because it's a tool, right? So it's easy to learn. It's not very complex. So you can become an expert within 3 to 4 weeks, okay? When I say, I don't use the word called expert, because nobody is an expert in any technology, but at least you can be at least 60 to 70% confident on this particular tool. Okay? Then remaining things, once you get into a project, you will get different scenarios, Then that's how you need to know where to start. Once you know how to start, then later, that's it. You can learn on the job more things. Okay?
Right.
But
Right.
as I know, Yeah, so that, but if you know all the available options in this tool, that's enough. That's what you're going to learn in the training. Okay.
Sure,
So what
sure.
are the all available options in these tools, and what are different things? You have security testing, you have everything. Okay,
Okay.
so load testing, everything you have here, and of course load testing. This is not recommended. People use proper
Jamie. Yeah.
load runner, whatever it is tools.
Yeah.
But here also you can use a little bit. Okay,
Sure, sure. Yeah.
generate a report, everything. You can just generate a report. You can give it to the developers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all about it. I will hand over to Sriram, and I will
Sure.
drop off now. We can discuss with him further. Okay,
Sure, sure, sure.
let's catch
Yeah.
up again.
Thank you, Chris.
Sriram, yeah, thanks.